Hi guys, it's Tatiana Londono, and I am here interviewing for Realtors Talk magazine.
This is how I drive a Porsche 911 and a Range Rover autobiography for free.
I am a real estate broker, coach, author, investor, all things real estate. Real estate and Tatiana Londono have a love story. Thank goodness. I was inspired by necessity. I needed a job. We had just closed down my company that I owned at the time, along with my husband. And it was out of necessity and desperation. My father suggested it. He says I could make a lot of money, and the rest was magic. Sexual harassment in the workplace, 100%. I think it happens to a lot of female realtors and male realtors for that matter. And but I was able to overcome that. Usually comes with age. And then also the biggest difficulty, because that's a matter of choice. Like, I know it's hard for some people, but the biggest difficulty is not having worked with systems in place. So for a long time, I was just flying off the seat of my pants, and I really was just depending on luck to get referrals going and the next listing going and cold calling, but I didn't have any real systems in place. And that only came about way later on into my career. So maybe even 8-9 years into my career when I hired a coach and started taking things seriously. And so that was a huge mistake. I've learned from my mistakes. And this is why I coach realtors now. I think it was part of, like, I don't want these people to go through what I went through. Nobody taught me that I needed a coach. So this is, this was a big challenge for me. The first property I sold was for $250,000. It was 6 weeks into my real estate career. It was a sixplex in a very hot part of town today. At the time, it was up and coming. So that was 18 years ago. $250,000 for a sixplex. We got a call into the office. Someone had to speak English. We live in a French Canadian. They wanted to speak to someone who spoke English. They were Americans investing in Montreal because the real estate was super cheap. And so they called into the office. We were one of the only English speaking, I used to work with my father at the time. My father and I used to work together when I first started. He trained me. And so my father and I were also some of the only English speaking people in the office. So they came to us through a phone call. At the time, you'd still get phone calls into the office. I was working at Remax at the time. And lo and behold, they were Americans, and they bought the most disgusting, dirty sixplex I've ever seen till today. And it was easy peasy. Everything went smoothly. If I remember correctly, I did really well too. I double-ended. I made about $25,000 at the time. Like there were still great commissions at the time being paid out, but I think maybe it was my listing even that they bought. So anyway, long story short, that was a long time ago, 18 years ago. My most expensive property to date, I believe, let me just make sure, but yeah, $5.5 million in Westmount. That's the most expensive neighborhood here in Montreal. Our prices are lower here in Montreal. And so, yeah, $5.5 million was my most expensive property. The $5.5 million was my best friend. She met a really rich guy, and he wanted to buy her a house here. And I went shopping with her, and I found her. That was easy. Found her a house. We went shopping. She could have bought anything she wanted, but this house was on one of the best streets. And it was not too big, not too small, had beautiful gardens. And it wasn't even on the market. But my friend, a big listing agent in that neighborhood, who's a friend of mine, he told me that he had a pocket listing and to bring her. So we did. And that's how I closed that deal. I have a team now. I'm set up properly. So 100 properties a year. And so I'm averaging about 2 million in GCI. And so my goal this year was 2.250. I always increase it by an extra $250,000 every year. So my goal is, 2.250 in GCI. We're already halfway there. I am very strict. I have a structure in place and system in place. And I have 5 realtors that work in my team. Plus I have Londono Realty Group, the agency, but on my own team, I have 5. And we have different systems. We use our Facebook ads. We use our cold caller. We use our letters, our CRM. I spend a lot of money in marketing, and it brings in the buyers and sellers. So plus my repeat referral. I have so many systems in place, and we hit it every year. I have some really hungry team members who close those deals. So my marketing strategies, I'd have to say the big surprise this year was my new Facebook campaign. So I believe Facebook is still, I know realtors are tired of Facebook, but it's time to, you always have to reinvent your marketing systems and grab onto what's working and let go of what isn't working. And Facebook has been the big winner this year after repeat referral and Sphere. So Facebook has really, so what I did is I hired a Facebook ad guy, but I also hired a customer service team to completely vet every single lead and to take care of that for me. Because the issue with realtors is they're taking care of vetting their own leads. That's not our job. The Facebook was fantastic. It's my number 2 ROI right now. But another one that's been very big for me is the radio. I'm on the radio. I have a radio campaign and it works really well. And as for closing, hundreds of thousands of dollars come in with Facebook and radio. And then for closing, yeah, it's very important for me to make sure that you're in contact with the customer and these people are your raving fans, and to make sure, that your closing is not the end of your journey. Like that's just the beginning, because these are the guys who are going to bring you, they're your raving fans. They're the ones who are going to bring you your future clients. So yeah, it's closing. I make sure they get gifts, flowers, all sorts of stuff. But most importantly, I give them something that's going to remind them of me. So I'll give you an example. This is just one, what I do is I'll give them like a coaster, but I'll put my stamp underneath it, not to ruin their look. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to put people are giving away cutting boards, but with their logo, no one wants somebody's logo on their shit, right? So I hide it discreetly so that even when they're cleaning, they see it. But when it's exposed, you don't see it. Discreet gifts like that, because yeah, you give the wine, the champagne, whatever that is, but once they drink it, they forget about you. You still want to be in their face and remind them you exist, Really do believe that scaling your business is about training, systematic training, and making sure that no one veers off what you expect. So if you expect an email sequence to go out every single time a client comes in, you got to make sure that your secretary or admin assistant does the exact email sequence you trained her to do. Not one of the, or him. It's not one of these things where they get to pick and choose. Okay, I already texted this client because he texted me, because clients have a way of finding you, in today's day and age. So, oh yeah, well, he texted me, so I didn't send him the welcome email. No. You have to be very on top of the game when it comes to training. Okay, that's number 1 if you want to expand. So make sure that there's a system in place. So my systems are right here. They got to memorize this, and if they don't do it, they're fired. So you hire carefully and fire quickly. And then Make sure you hire great staff. Once you hire great staff, you could then train your team. And then the team has to also follow the rules within the system. It is like a company, like McDonald's. How did McDonald's expand? They didn't make it up as they went. There was a book. You study the book, and this is how you run it. You make the French fries this way. It's a franchise prototype model. You make the French fries this way, the hamburger that way. This is the bun that you buy. This is you cook the French fry for exactly 3 minutes. So that's how real estate agents should run their business as entrepreneurs. Okay, they shouldn't be entrepreneurs, technicians, and managers. You do what you do best. Then you hire your team. Within your team, you have your stars, but you don't want to hire anyone who's too good, because people who are too good require too much money. Okay, so then you train the team as per your protocols and provide them with sound business. You provide them with vetted leads so that they're not going to get tired out and frustrated. And so that if they're not closing, it's their fault, not yours. And again, hire carefully, fire quickly. If it's not working out with a team, get rid of them and replace them with somebody else. And then this is how you expand your business. And you share and you pay people properly. Pay people properly. So I give my team members the lead and I give them a certain percentage. They're happy, they continue producing. And that's how you expand. The only way to expand is by hiring a team, by bringing on a team. If you don't bring on a team, something's going wrong in your life. If you're making the big bucks, if you're making over 350 in the business and you don't have a team, something's wrong in your life. You're either going to get divorced, something's wrong. You're ignoring your children, you're not home on time. So very important to have the team model. Do you believe that you need a shortcut to success to succeed in real estate, and mentors provide this? But I just believe in hiring a coach. People should get paid for what they do. Mentors, inspiration, that's a different story. I'm a mentor to many kids on TikTok. But in order to get the shortcut to success in any business, it's important that you pay a coach. Or if it's somebody who doesn't want to get paid because they're very successful, just listen and read everything that person's done. If you can't afford coaching, buy books. A mentor could be as accessible as a book. This guy is a genius, Dan S. Kennedy. He's written 10 books. Go read. Like, people don't read anymore. They don't educate themselves. They do the bare minimum, and then they wonder why everyone else is successful and they aren't. So yeah, very important to get yourself a coach, pay them, and if you can't afford it, read books or listen to books if you have ADD. You could listen to them now. The craziest experience I've had with a client is we had an accepted offer and he died. So the client died, exactly, and they had to homologate the will because the wife was not in the will. His will was not updated. And so here we are with an accepted offer, all conditions fulfilled, and the guy dies. But the house is under his name. He was a control freak and his wife didn't take care of these things. It was a very old-fashioned relationship where he took care of bringing in the money and the house was on his name and and no one thinks they're going to die so young. And she had a small child, baby, maybe 1 year old, and he died right after we got the accepted offer. So the people who had to buy it had to endure an arduous court process while the will was homologated. Wait, to top it all off, he was a diplomat. So he wasn't even a Canadian citizen. So it was a nightmare, and the woman didn't know where to start. His wife had no idea. That was, I'd have to say, the craziest real estate deal I had to go through. In the end, we closed. It all worked out, but was a huge delay, and there was huge headaches, and we closed, but that was the craziest shit I've been through. The guy dies. That's crazy. I have someone who I've worked with for over 13 years. His name is Dale. He started when he was a very young man. He's 10 years younger than me. I'm 48. He's 38, and he has been with me through thick and thin. And this guy, he's the yin to my yang. We've worked together. He's become very, very rich thanks to me. And he really is we'll retire together. Even though I have a team, he was my first team member, but he's fantastic. So I'd have to say he supported me through all this. It was calm, collected, patience. Another thing is you can't get too emotional with real estate. You've got to know, and I've learned over the years, to let go. If you have a crazy client, that's their problem. You can't get crazy with them. You got to learn how to walk away and go like this. And I even tell them sometimes, I say, you're spinning your wheels, man. I'm not going to be part of this. I'm not going to be part of this. Not crap crazy. No, there's a lot of crazy people out there. They're not well. And there's a lot of narcissists out there. There's people who have issues. We don't know how people were raised. Just, you go like this. In the beginning, I wasn't like that. But after years, you have coping mechanisms and you figure them out. And the more successful you are, the better your coping mechanisms. I am able to detach myself from a deal and say, okay, crazy, you go spin your wheels. I'm going to wait here. And that's it. To make sure they hire themselves a coach, and to read every book possible, and to definitely read the Real Estate Bible, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller. I am not a Keller Williams agent, but this will teach you everything you need to know. The mindset aspect, the lead generation aspect, what works, what doesn't. This is, I call it the Bible of real estate. And also this book that I showed you previously, The No BS Time Management for Entrepreneurs by Dennis Kennedy. This is the foundation to everything, because you can't memorize the Bible without this book, because you need time management skills. So you can only do this if you have this first. So these are the two books that I have to say impacted my life the most as a realtor. So therefore, as a new realtor, start with those books. And then after that, get a coach. Get a real estate coach. Invest the money. Do it. People pay hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to go to college in the United States. Hello? $10,000 for a coach is nothing. $1,000. It's for your career. It's an investment. Hire yourself a coach, because trust me, they're not going to teach you at your brokerage. Everyone's busy trying to make money. Mentors, oh, could you mentor me? That doesn't work. The mentor's busy. Mentor's busy. So unless you pay, you ain't getting nothing.
This is how I drive a Porsche 911 and a Range Rover autobiography for free.
Okay, on TikTok, my videos go viral, but that one went viral, oh my God, everywhere, like everywhere. And yeah, so for me, like if you're a socialist, I get it. Like that's your thing, but I'm a landlord. I'm in real estate. That's what I do. So any realtor who tried to criticize me on that one, please, you're in the wrong business. Get out. If you're a real estate agent criticizing the realtor who is a landlord, who's a winner, who's, inspiring young people, you're in the wrong business, or you're just jealous. But that video has been very good to me. Yeah, I'm very thankful to my TikTok audience. Very, very thankful. I love them. I care about them. And I have a membership, a real estate membership that they can join. I've made it affordable. Coaching, I've made it affordable for them. And I have 200 members. They're my raving fans. I love them. I love TikTok. I love everything about TikTok. I think it's a great platform. If you're looking for the right things, it is a great platform, a great business platform, a great coaching platform. It's a great motivational platform. I love TikTok. It's fantastic. And I'm an older woman, so don't give me the excuse that TikTok's not for me. I'm too old. It's for young kids who are dancing. I've proven otherwise. So now you know everything about me. Tatiana Londono, head broker of Londono Realty Group, Inc. Thank you to Realtor Talk Magazine for the interview.